I'm rolling, everyone.
Rolling. Wait.
Action.
Marley was dead, to begin with. There's no doubt about that. As dead as a doornail. The register of his burial had been signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, the chief mourner, and even Scrooge himself. And yet Scrooge had never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, retching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. The cold within him froze his old features, nipped at his pointed nose, shriveled his cheek, stifled his gait, made his eyes red, and his thin lips blue, and he spoke out shrewdly in a gated voice.
Jesus! I mean, bah humbug.
And even on this, of all good days of the year, SASmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. The door in his dingy office was open that he might keep a close eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a dismal little cell beyond was copying letters.
Hi, yes, Bob Cratchit of Bob Cratchit Comedy on YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
Cratchit! What the fuck are you blubbering about in there? Back to work?
Yes, Mr. Scrooge. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Jay, is that you?
Yeah, he got you to do this too? I don't know what he's doing.
I don't think he knows what he's doing either.
And then Bob got frantically back to work.
Dear Mr. Gilmore, you owe Ebenezer Scrooge 11 shillings and 3 pence. If this amount is not paid with interest...
Merry SASmas, Uncle. Merry SASmas, Bob.
Jesus Christ.
Merry SASmas, Fred.
And Merry SASmas to you, Uncle.
Bah humbug.
SASmas humbug, Uncle? Oh, you don't mean that I'm sure.
I do. Merry SASmas. What the fuck does that mean anyway? Merry SASmas. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then. What right do you have to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah humbug.
Oh, don't be cross, Uncle.
Don't be Uncle Cross.
What?
It sounded better in my head.
What else can I be when I have to deal with a script such as this? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Is this a first draft? When I live in a world of fools such as this, Merry SASmas? What's a SASmas but a time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who wanted to be an actor here at SAS who goes about with the words Merry SASmas on their lips should be boiled with his own monologue and buried with a stake of honey through his heart. Who the fuck wrote this shit?
Uncle!
Nephew, keep SASmas in your own way, and don't overschedule into another therapy group like you always do, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Leave me alone then. Much good it may do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things for which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited. I dare say, SASmas among the rest. But I always thought of SASmas as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, and pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, in the name of Tracy of Safe Space, bless it.
Jesus Christ. Well spoken, Mr. Fred. Tracy bless.
Let me hear another word from you, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your SASmas by losing your station. That's for you, nephew. You're quite a powerful speaker. I wonder you don't go into Syracuse City Council. Who wrote this shit?
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'd sooner see you in... Cratchit, what in the blazes are you doing?
I was only putting a little more coal in the fire, Mr. Scrooge, seeing your nephew came in and it's so cold.
More coal indeed. Put it back in the scuttle.
Uncle, why will you not dine with us?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. That's the only thing in the world more ridiculous than a merry SASmas.
Nay, but you never came to see me before that happened, even when I gave the monologue. Why give it as a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you, asking nothing of you. Why can't we be friends, or at least co-star in a community theater together? Or maybe in one of Joe's shitty movies.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute, but I've tried, and I'll keep my SASmas humor to the last. So, a merry SASmas, Uncle.
Humbug.
And a happy New Year, too. And a merry SASmas to you, Bob. And to Mrs. Cratchit and Tiny Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Fred, and Merry SASmas to you too, sir.
Not 2 sixpences to jingle together in their pockets, and they're talking about a merry SASmas. Bah.
Shivering, Bob Cratchit, in letting Scrooge's nephew out, had let another person in. He was a portly gentleman, pleasant to behold, and he stood now with his hat off in hand in a fast darkening office.
Scrooge and Marley, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's been dead these 7 years. Died 7 years ago this very night.
Then I have no doubt the liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
Humbug.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at this present time. Many actors and struggling persons of mentally ill kind attend this very safe space, are in want of a 75-inch television to adorn the mantle.
Wait a fucking second. What happened to the 40-inch one we used for the last few SASmas?
We moved it to the side room for the boy to play Xbox on.
And what happened to the smaller one Joe brought in from home?
Well, he simply got too lazy to bring it in his car. Yes, I see your point, but still, we are in desperate need of fundraising for the SAS Christmas holiday, Mr. Scrooge, and a better script. What should I put you down for?
Nothing.
Ah, you wish to remain anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. I don't make myself merry at SASmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry, especially when we already have 2 very good, but maybe slightly smaller TVs already mentioned in the script. Let those sitting in the back accept the fact that they won't be seeing what's going on the screen so well.
I can't blame you there. I mean, many will die from squinting, sir, and then maybe this decrease our overall surplus SAS population. Besides, someone will surely make better Actors Studio soon.
That wouldn't be too hard to do.
Well, I guess we will fade into oblivion then.
I guess you will. Good afternoon.
The portly gentleman hangs his head, depressed in his feelings, like a typical actor on a typical day.
Ratchet, show this gentleman out.
Yes, sir. This way, please. I couldn't help overhearing, sir. I should like to contribute 3 pence 6. It's all I can afford, you see. I'm living with my mom now, and I don't have a car, and I only work part-time at a local family-style chain restaurant besides this job. But I'm sure there are actors at SAS who can't see the TV screen from the back rows that are in a much worse situation than I am.
Well, most gracious, I wish I could say the same for your employer.
That's a hard one. You should have seen him play Popeye Doyle during scene study.
Ratchet!
Yes, sir.
Close that door. Shut out that infernal Carolyn.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh, yes, sir.
You've finished copying the letters?
Yes, sir.
Full of errors, I assume?
Oh, no, sir.
You want the whole day tomorrow, I suppose?
It's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. It's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, I don't know what any of that means.
Neither do I. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year, indeed. It's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket. On the last Monday of December from 7 to 10 p.m., or maybe the second to last, depending on scheduling conflicts. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all earlier the next morning.
Oh, I will, sir. I will indeed. Good night, sir. And if I may say, sir, Merry SASmas.
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, with the long ends of his worn-out jacket dangling in the wind, stole a kid's sled, sledded down the reservoir in West Bay, even though it's illegal, because a few kids got run over by a car there, and then he ran home to his mother's house, where his wife was waiting to yell at him. Scrooge took his melancholy dinner at his usual melancholy dive bar, and having read all the newspapers, even the table hopper, he went home to bed. He lived in a gloomy chambers near Strathmore, but more where it hits the south side, and you gotta be careful not to get shot. In a large rundown house, which had once belonged to his deceased partner Marley, one of those ones that used to be nice 100 years ago or so. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew every stone, was fain to grope with his hands in a way that won't get him on the sex offender list, until he could find the door.
Door seems to move every time.
Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all peculiar about the knocker on the door, except that it was very large. Let it also be borne in mind that Scrooge had not bestowed one thought on Marley since his last mention of his dead partner that afternoon.
What on earth is that key?
And then let any man mansplain how it happened that Scrooge, having his key in the lock on the door, saw it in the knocker.
Ah!
Marley's face, which ghostly spectacles turned up upon his ghostly forehead. And though the eyes were wide open, they were perfectly motionless. That, and its livid color, made it horrible. To say that he was not startled would be untrue. But he put his hand upon the key and turned it sturdily. He walked in and lighted his candle. And he did pause. He did look cautiously behind the door, and he shut it.
Pooh-pooh.
As he closed the door, it resounded throughout the house like thunder. Up Scrooge went, not caring a button for the darkness. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. But before he shut his inner door, he walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, I don't know what that means, all as they should be.
Nothing wrong here.
Nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa, a small fire in the grate that somehow didn't burn down the house when he was gone. Jesus, how do these people live?
Nice fire.
Nobody in the closet, nobody in the dressing gown, which hung at a suspicious altitude against the wall.
Oh, I'm getting stupid.
Quite satisfied, he closed his door and locked himself in. Thus secured against surprise, he took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
That. Someone's in the wine cellar. No, the door is locked. Double locked, but something is coming closer. Outside my door. I won't believe it. It's humbug.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, now, what do you want with me?
I wanted much of you.
Well, that's a weird thing to say. Who are you? And why are you suddenly a woman?
It's 2024. You can't say things like that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go on.
I think it's your line.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Ask me who I was.
You're very particular for a ghost. All right then. Who were you?
I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
But you're dead. 7 years this very night.
You don't believe in me?
I do not.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. Maybe an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than a grave about you, whoever you are. Mercy! Dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Man of a worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. But why do you walk the earth? Why do you come to me? Why don't you answer me? Why do you walk the earth? Why do you come for me? Come to me. I just said that.
It is required of every man that he walk abroad his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death, to witness what it cannot share or might have shared on earth and led to happiness.
You're fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chains I forged in life. I made them link by link and yard by yard of my own free will. And of my own free will I wore them. Is its pattern strange to you?
Yeah.
Or would you know the length Or would you know the length of the coil that you bear, Ebenezer? You're
having reading problems.
I'm having reading problems, and you're just. Oh. So let me see here.
Here, page 11.
Oh. Okay. Or would you know the weight and length of the coil you bear, Ebenezer? It was as full and heavy and as long as it was 7 SASmas Eves ago. You have labored on it ever since.
Strange. Since this is the first SASmas, but okay. Jacob, old Jacob Marley, tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give, nor can I tell you what I would. Oh, captive, bound, and double-ironed, not to know that not one space of regret can make amends for one's life's opportunities misused. Yet such was I. Oh, such was I.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Jacob, don't take on so.
Hear me, my time is nearly gone.
I will. But don't be hard upon me. Don't be flowery, Jacob, pray.
I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate, Ebenezer.
You were always a good friend to me. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 2 spirits.
2? I thought it was 3.
Yeah, well, there's been some schedule changes and, budget cuts. We just didn't really have the time. So.
He's always cramming stuff in.
Oh, don't get me going, I know. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Is that my chance and hope?
Yeah. Yes, that. Sorry.
Can I help you, Jacob?
Yeah, hang on. Okay. It is.
Then I think I'd rather not.
Without these visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow as the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take him all at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Look to see me no more, and look for your own sake, that you remember what passed between us.
Scrooge followed to the window, through which the ghost had disappeared as on the wind. The air was filled with phantoms, all wearing chains, like Marley's ghost. And that's enough. Scrooge watched them fade away, and then, being from the emotion he had undergone, or the fatigue of the day, much in need of repose, went straight to bed without undressing, thank God, and fell asleep upon the instant. When Scrooge awoke, he was endeavoring to pierce the darkness of his chamber, with the chimes of a neighboring church struck a quarter. So he listened for the hour.
Expect the first when the bell tolls 1. There's the hour. And nothing else.
But on the instant the bell tolled, one of the curtains of his bedchamber were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself with an unearthly visitor who drew them. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man. Its hair, which hung around its neck and down its back, was white with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle on it.
Ebenezer Scrooge, I've come for you.
You are the spirit whose coming was foretold to me.
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of SASmas present.
What about the ghost of SASmas past?
There is no SASmas past. It's the first one, dummy.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Wait, you mean this shit is even longer next year?
Oh, God, I hope not.
What do you want of me? What business brings you here? You're not going to try to collect money for a TV, are you?
Oh, God, no. Your welfare is why I'm here.
My welfare. A night of unbroken rest.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
No. Not out the window, I pray. I'm a mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your shoulder, and you shall be upheld. Come, let us be off.
As the spirit spoke, they passed through the wall and stood upon a large room, usually used for group therapy sessions, filled with SASmas decorations from the dollar store and various foods and candies of the most delectable delight. Actors and actresses dressed for the holidays were filling their faces and laughing merrily as they bullshitted back and forth. The spirit led Scrooge to a large table filled with measly goodies and one-sheet pizza. Around the table sat Mrs. Cratchit and Tiny Tim, while Bob was up doing the serving and getting berated by his wife, who wore the pants in this family.
This is the humble dwelling of your clerk, Bob Cratchit.
That's why it's so cold in here.
Merry SASmas to all!
Merry SASmas!
Jay, pull it out your ass.
Merry SASmas, Father, and Tracy bless us, everyone.
And Tracy, bless you too, my child.
Never was there ever such a SASmas dinner, Mother.
Never.
Has everyone had enough?
Oh, yes, Mother.
This is the merriest SASmas ever!
It's the first one, kid. Take a deep breath or something.
There was never such a sheet pizza.
Never in the world.
I picked it out of the trash at the bones.
Aww. Father, it's so good to have you home. I love you guys so much.
It's so good to be home, dear. Always is, especially on SASmas. Mr. Scrooge was so nice enough to give me the day off, even though we can't afford health insurance and I only work a few shifts at a local family-style chain restaurant and don't qualify. If only we could get that life-saving surgery for Tiny Tim.
Have you looked into Child Health Plus?
Shut up, it doesn't fix the point. How did Tiny Tim behave at SAS, Robert?
Oh, he was running around the halls, ding-dong ditching people, the usual. Played a little Xbox, no big deal. He told me he wanted people to see him there trying his best.
Because I'm a cripple, Mother, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon SASmas Day that Tracy made lame actors monologue and blind actors do the strange exercises where you walk around the room and stuff.
Bless you, my son.
Oh, my Tiny Tim. Tracy, bless you. Oh, my pudding. Damn it, Robert, check on the pudding.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Scrooge, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see. A vacant seat in the chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, and if they don't sign up for Child Health Plus, the child will die.
No, kind spirit. Say he will be spared.
And if he does, what then? Better to do with it and decrease the surplus population.
I don't know what I'm saying. I have learned so much, even without a spirit of SASmas past. Spirit, let me hear more.
The pudding! It's out of the cupboard!
Oh, what a great deal of steam!
I smell like an eating house and the pastry cook's next door. And the lawn was next door to that. And the brandy blaze. And the SASmas holly stuck on top.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, but, oh, what a wonderful pudding! It's the greatest success you've achieved since our marriage, my dear. No, it's perfect.
This is the best SASmas ever!
What a feast! I propose a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feed on.
Dear, the children, SASmas Day?
It should be SASmas Day. I'm sure on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge.
My dear, SASmas Day.
Fuck Ebenezer Scrooge.
Jesus!
And Tracy bless him too. And everyone.
Enough. Take me away, Spirit. Let me see or hear no more.
There was nothing of high marks on this. They were not a handsome family. Their clothes were scanty. Might have known the inside of a pawnbroker's, but they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When the bell struck 12, Scrooge looked about him for the ghost and saw it not. Upon the last stroke of 12, Scrooge remembered the predictions of old Jacob Marley, and the fact that Joe had cut the script for time, though he doesn't look like he did, and lifted up his eyes and beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground.
The Muppet's got a better writer than this. Am I in the presence of the ghost of SASmas yet to come? SAS really gets that bad? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen, but as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be a better man than I was, I am prepared to bear your company and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? The young spirit. Here on a common street, Spirit, what is there for me to learn here? Yes, I will listen.
I don't know what there was either, but I really know he did.
I thought you'd never die.
What's he done with his money?
I've heard. The latest left to me, none of it's left to me. That's all I know. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral upon my life. I don't know anybody to go to it. Suppose we make a party and volunteer.
Won't mind going if lunch is provided.
Who should go with us?
Spirit, who is this unhappy man of whom they speak? Yes, I will follow. Bob Cratchit's house again? But it's so different. Spirit, why is it so quiet, so very quiet?
Oh, Mother, please.
And he took a child and set him in the midst of them. Martha.
Mother dear, you mustn't try to be brave for Father's sake. It's almost time for him to be home.
Yes, Martha. He's so late tonight. It must have been a long shift at the local family-style June restaurant. He also walks slower than he used to. Not just because he doesn't have a car, and yet I've known him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So will my mother.
But he was so light to carry, and his father loved him so. There was no trouble. No trouble at all.
Father. Oh, Father.
Good evening. Did I miss the monologues?
Oh, you're so late, Robert. Yes.
I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. It would have done you good to see how sweet and green a place it is. Especially because of global warming. But that's neither here nor there. You see, I promised him we'd walk there on a Sunday. I'm trying to understand it, my dear. Oh, my little child. My little child.
That's cruel, Spirit, cruel. Throwing a joke in there like that. You could have had Alexis Martin write this thing. Maybe then it would have been halfway good. Tiny Tim can live. Tiny Tim should live. Can you give me one real hope that I may change all of this? Yes, lead on, Spirit. Heavens, what is that? A churchyard? So many graves overrun with grass and weeds. Oh, Spirit, answer me one question. Are these shadows of the things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? Will you not speak to me? Yes. I will look. I will read the inscription. It's Ebenezer Scrooge. No, Spirit. Show me that I may change those shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor SASmas in my heart and try to keep all the year to come to every SASmas and even participate. Maybe even do a monologue. Tell me, may I sponge the writing off this stone? I beg you, Spirit. I beg you. What is this? My bedpost? My bed? Spirit, he's gone. She's gone. Sorry, they're gone. Oh, chicken Molly. Safe space and SASmas time. Be praised for this, an American high. Might as well throw them in there. I say it on my knees, old Jacob, on my knees. What day is it? I don't know what to do. I'm light as a feather. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. A merry SASmas to everyone. Hello. I must open the window. Golden sunlight. Heavenly bells. Car exhaust. You there, boy.
Yes, sir?
What is today, my fine fellow?
Huh? Why, today it's SASmas Day.
It's SASmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Hello there, my fine fellow. Do you know Pavone's on Butternut Street?
I should say I do.
An intelligent boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize pizza that was somehow hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
That's the one.
Why, it's hanging there right now.
It is. Go and buy it. I'll Venmo you. I'm at Humbug1230. Bring it to Bob Cratchit's. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. There never was such a joke as sending it to Bob's will be.
Scrooge had not yet discovered Uber Eats. Nevertheless, he dressed himself in his best and got out into the streets. He had not gone far. Coming towards him, he beheld the portly gentleman who had walked into his counting house the day before. He knew what path lay straight before him, and he took it.
My dear sir, how do you do? A Merry SASmas to you. I hope you succeeded yesterday.
Mr. Scrooge?
That is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you, sir. Allow me to ask your pardon. And will you have the goodness to accept that I must whisper it? An 85-inch television and a laptop to go with it.
Wahoo! Why, Tracy, bless me, are you serious?
Not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Come and see me, will you? Will you come and see me?
Oh, I will! I will indeed!
Thank you. Thank you 50 times, Tracy. Bless you.
He went to Sass. He even monologued. And then he walked about the streets and petted children on their heads in a non-creepy way, and also questioned beggars and bought them each a sandwich from the burned area in Western C Street. He looked down into the kitchen of houses and up to the windows, and he found that everything could yield him pleasure in the afternoon. He turned his steps towards his nephew's house and joined the happy party. But he was early at the office next morning. Oh, he was early. Could only be there early to catch Bob Cratchit coming late. And he did. The clock struck 9, no Bob. 9:15, no Bob.
Well there, Cratchit. What do you mean by coming in late?
Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are? Yes. I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you please.
But it's only once a year, sir. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now, I tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer, and therefore...
Mr. Scrooge!
And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your pay.
Mr. Scrooge!
A Merry SASmas, Bob.
Merry SASmas.
I've merrier SASmas than I've given you in many a year. Even though this is the first one. Jesus fucking Christ, the script. Bob, pick up the fires and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And Tiny Tim, who did not die, for him, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep SASmas. Well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge, may it truly be said of all of us, and all, as Tiny Tim has observed.
Tracy, bless us, everyone.
guys come up here and take a bow.
All right.
Real quick.
Cass. Right in the center. We didn't rehearse this.
Oh, we have to go there? Sorry.
It's okay. It all worked out.
And everybody, thunderous applause.
And cut.